We have already studied Ohm's law and the function of resistances in a circuit. Now, it's a new concept about the circuit analysis. Suppose there is a circuit like this. Actually, it is a junction. We are drawing a junction, and this is the direction of electric current, I1. Suppose this is I1, and this is the direction of electric current I2. This is direction of current I3. This is direction of current I4, and this is direction of current I5. Total 5 currents are meeting at this point P. P is a point, it is junction. Now, there is a rule for this, all these currents. Those are meeting at a junction P, point P, and the rule is like this. The algebraic sum of currents, the of currents meeting zero. This is a rule, and this rule is known as Kirchhoff's law. Number one, there are two rules regarding electric current given by Kirchhoff, the scientist. The name of scientist is Kirchhoff, and this rule is known as KCL, Kirchhoff's current law. KCL. KCL is like this: the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction is zero. Now, explanation. So, here we observe that I1, I2 and I3, these three currents are meeting at the point P and coming from any other point or points. From different points, these currents are coming towards the point P. So, if the current that is coming towards the junction or point P is considered to be positive, then all the currents coming towards this point or this junction should be considered as positive. So this current is positive, this is also positive, and this is also positive. And the current going away to other points from the junction should be taken to be negative. So this current is negative, and this current I5 is also negative. Now, mathematics gives the summation of I from 1, I is equal to 1 to n. If there are n conductors meeting at a single point P, then n will vary from 1 to n. In this case, only 5 currents have been shown: I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5. Among these 5 currents, this is positive, this is positive, this is positive, and I4 and I5 are negative. So we can say this is equal to 0. This is the mathematical form of this rule. So the KCL, this is KCL. KCL, Kirchhoff's current rule or law. KCL, the this is the expression of KCL in language. And this is the mathematical expression of KCL. This is the mathematical expression of KCL. So this mathematical expression and this sentence are equivalent to each other. Now, if we explain this sentence or this mathematical rule further, then we can say like this: or I1 plus I2 plus I3 minus I5, I4 and minus I5 is equal to 0. That means I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to I5 plus I4. So this is the expression for KCL in brief, and this rule is very important for determining resistances or amount of current passing through different meshes of the circuit. Actually, in a complex circuit, suppose there is a complex circuit and this circuit extends, it may extend mathematically up to infinity. You will see some of the problems in your textbook and also in different types of question banks. There are so many different types of problems, and this tool or this law will be very useful to determine the current or the resistance in a circuit, and it requires practice, prolonged practice. You have to solve so many numerical problems, and then you will be master of application of this type of problems. Okay, now let us discuss about the second law or Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL. One is named as KCL and the second law is known as KVL. So now KVL. KVL means it is Kirchhoff's second law, and the expression of this law is like this: changes in potential, the algebraic sum of changes in potential. Changes in potential in complete traversal of a mesh, in complete traversal of a mesh or closed loop is 0. Now we have to draw a circuit, and this circuit will show you what is a mesh or closed loop. Suppose there is a circuit like this. Its resistance, it is another resistance, it's a cell, there is another cell, there is another resistance, there is another resistance like this, it's a cell, it's a resistance, and the circuit extends like this: resistance, cell, resistance, and like this. This is a circuit. Suppose this is a circuit like this. Now A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are the name of different points of the circuit. So this is a complex circuit. Suppose the value of E here, EMF, E1, E2, E3, and E4. There are several resistances. So this is R1, this is R2, this is R3, this is R4, this is R5. So in this complex circuit, there are 6 resistances and 4 cells. R is joined. There is another resistance, R7. So there are 7 resistances and 4 cells linked with one another to form a complex circuit. And in this circuit, there are 3 closed loops, and you can determine, you can find out there are more than 3 closed loops here. So prominently there are 3 closed loops, 1, 2, and 3. We shall mark this just after a brief discussion of this law, KVL. So KVL says the algebraic sum of changes in potential in complete traversal of a mesh closed loop is 0. So this is a closed loop. BADC is a closed loop, and CDEF is another closed loop. CFGHC is another closed loop. There is another closed loop, BADEFCB. BADEFCB. This is another closed loop. Similarly, HCDEFGH. This is another closed loop. So there are so many closed loops here. We are not discussing about the closed loops, just to show you the meaning of closed loop in a circuit. I am saying this, the meaning of closed loop, and the closed loop and mesh, these two words are equivalent to each other. Now what is the rule? The rule goes like this: the algebraic sum of changes in potential in complete traversal of a mesh or closed loop is 0. And mathematically, this is written as summation of V is equal to 0. V extends from, I extends from 1 to n, or summation of, in place of V, we can say V is equal to I into R. So the V expression of V and expression of IR, that means current multiplied by resistance means V. That means current multiplied by this resistance means a source, a voltage. IR is equal to voltage. This may be voltage. In this case, this is voltage drop actually. Now, we shall discuss here what about voltage gain, voltage drop, etc. etc. There are so many concepts associated with KVL. It is not so simple like the KCL. So, you have to concentrate a bit or concentrate more to learn the idea about KVL, though it is not very difficult at all. You have to practice some problems and you have to go through the matter again and again, and if possible you may consult this video or see this video for more than one time. Okay, so summation of Vi is equal to 0. That means summation of IR is equal to 0, and this is also algebraic sum. Now, what is the algebra of this law? This needs a bit of explanation. Suppose we are starting from this point A, B, C, B, A. This is a loop. We are starting from this. At first, we have to determine the direction of current. Now, this is the, suppose this is the direction of current. This is the direction of current here, and this is the direction of current here. And we are eliminating this part for simplicity. Though there may be a part like this. For simplicity, we are eliminating this part. So it is rather easy to determine. So current I1, suppose this is a loop and current is flowing along this direction, I1, and current is flowing along this direction, I2. Now, at this junction, current coming here, I1, and this current is coming from this point, I2. So this is current I1 and this is current I2. Those two currents are coming here. So at this point, the current, this is the junction, and we can say the current incoming is current outgoing. Current incoming is current outgoing. So applying KCL at this junction, we can say the current in this part is equal to I1 plus I2. And this current I1 plus I2 comes through this point, and I2 current again passes along this direction, and I1 current passes along this direction. So this is the complete sense. You have to determine at first current. You may take the direction of current. I have taken this clockwise, and I have taken this as anti-clockwise. You can take this clockwise, and this is also clockwise. You can take this anti-clockwise and this also clockwise. You have every right to choose the direction of current, anti-clockwise or clockwise. But once that is chosen, then it is the final. Now in this mesh, I have noted that this is the direction of electric current. The current is flowing from D point through A point to B point to C point, again to D point. And in this mesh, the current is coming from D point to E point, then to this point, then to this point, and then to this point. Now, I have applied judiciously the rule KCL here. Otherwise, our attempt will be futile. You have to apply the rule very judiciously, and At first, you have to obey the rule KCL. Otherwise, KVL is not applicable. You have to obey the rule KCL. Otherwise, KVL is not applicable. Now, while going from D to A, this is the potential, source of potential, and the potential source gives the potential difference E1. So, when we step from lower point to upper point, or from lower point or lower potential to upper potential, that is potential gain. And when potential gain, in case of potential gain, in case of potential gain, it is positive. Potential gain means positive. So E1 is positive. E1 is positive. Now, electric current is flowing from this point to this point. That means when current flows and we move along the movement of the current or along the flow of the current, the potential is lost. That means if I1 current passes through these points, that means passes through R2. If I1 current passes through R2, then IR2 is the difference of potential, and that is potential loss. So in this case, potential loss is equal to IR2. That means if potential gain is considered to be positive, then potential loss should be considered to be negative. Potential loss should be considered to be negative. So potential gain is positive and potential loss is negative. When potential gain means we are moving from lower point of the electrode or the negative electrode to positive electrode. So when we move from negative electrode to positive electrode, potential gain, and we move from along the current, this is potential loss. So I1 R2 is equal to potential loss. I1 R2 is the potential loss. Now, current flows along this direction and there is a resistance here R1. Again, loss of potential, that means minus I1 R1. Now, we move from higher potential to lower potential of the battery. This is a cell of EMF E2, and we are moving from higher potential to lower potential. That is why if lower potential to higher potential is potential gain, then this is potential loss. So this is minus E2. Again we are moving from C to D. And the current I1 plus I2 is flowing through R7. That means minus I1 plus I2 into R7 is equal to 0. So this gives the complete equation. U1 minus I1 R2 minus I1 R1 minus E2 minus I1 plus I2 into R7 is equal to 0. This gives the explanation or expanded roof or expanded form of IR is equal to 0. Okay. Now, if we take this mesh, if we consider this mesh, we are considering this mesh. And this mesh also will give another explanation or another equation with I1, I2, E1, E2, etc., etc. Okay. So, suppose we are starting from D, this point. We are starting from this point. So, this is the potential loss. We are moving along the current through the resistance, that is potential loss. That means minus I2 R3 plus E4 minus I2, and suppose this is R6 minus I2 R6 and minus R7 into I1 plus I2 minus I1 plus I2 into R7 is equal to 0. So this is the explanation of KCL. Now we are going to a simpler circuit. Very simple circuit. It will help you to gain the clear idea about KCL or KVL. Suppose there is a resistance like this. There is another resistance like this. And this is a source of EMF, U1. This is a very common problem. Very common problem. Another resistance, another source of EMF. You have to determine or locate the pole of the battery. And this is the simplest problem in your textbook regarding Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. So the EMF of this is E2, this is U1, this is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. Now, from the polarity of the cell, we can say electric current will flow along this direction. Suppose this is I1. So this also will be I1. And from the polarity of this cell also, electric current along this direction will be I2. And this also will be I2. And according to KCL, the electric current flowing through R3 is equal to I1 plus I2. And again, in this junction, the current will be divided. Along this direction, this will be I2. And along this direction, the current will be I1. So this is the simplest case. You may concentrate a bit on this particular problem. And it will help you to gain a holistic idea about KCL and KVL. Now there are two meshes in this circuit or loops in this circuit, and we are denoting the names A, B, C, D, E and F. Okay, now from A, B, C, D, A, from loop A, B, C, D, A. From loop A, B, C, D, A, there is no source of potential or no resistance. So this part does not require our attention. Electric current is flowing along this direction and we are moving from negative potential to positive potential. That is why E1 should be taken to be positive. So E1 is positive and electric current is flowing along the direction through a resistance. That means a potential drop, and drop means negative. So this is equal to minus I1 R1. So this is equal to minus I1 R1. Okay. Then we come to this point D, and again along this direction electric current is equal to I1 plus I2, that is flowing through R3, and we are moving along the direction of electric current We are moving along the direction of electric current. That is why this is negative. So this is equal to minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to 0. So this is the complete loop. Now from loop AFEDA is a closed loop. AFEDA. Again, A to F, F to E, E to D, D to A. This is the closed loop. Now, if we consider this loop, this part does not require any notation because there is no source of EMF or no resistance here. But at this part, there is a source of resistance, source of potential. This is E2, and we are moving from negative to positive. That is why when we move from negative to positive, that is source of EMF should be considered to be E2 is positive, E2 minus I2 R2 and again minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to 0. So there are two independent equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. There are two equations here, equation number 1 and equation number 2. This is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Now if the values of E1 is equal to 5 volt, E2 is equal to 6 volt and R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3. These three resistances are equal to each other. Is equal to 2 ohm each. Find the value of PD across B and A. B and A. Find the value of potential difference across D and A. We have to determine the potential difference between D and A. So this is the problem. Now we have equations like this. U1 minus I1 R1 minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to 0 and E2 minus I2 R2 plus minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to also 0. There are two equations. So we have to again rewrite these equations in another page because the page is very short here. Okay. Now we are taking another page. U1 minus I1 R1 minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to 0 and E2 minus I2 R2 minus I1 plus I2 into R3 is equal to also 0, where we have given already E1 is equal to perhaps 5 volt, E1 is equal to 5 volt, E2 is equal to 6 volt, R1, R2, R3 all are 2 ohms. So this is 5 volt, E1 is equal to 5 volt, E2 is equal to 6 volt and R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 is equal to 2 ohm each. Okay. Now we are putting all the values here. So u1 is equal to, or from equation number 1, this is number 1 equation and this is number 2 equation. From 1 we get u1 means 5, so 5 minus I1 into R1. We do not know the value of I1. We have to determine the value of I1. So this is equal to 2 into R1, 2 into I1, sorry, 2 into I1. Again, 2 into I1 and 2 into I2. Again, 2 into I2. So this is equal to